Hello, welcome to Lesson 1. What is an inevitable brand? An inevitable brand is a brand that achieves its own escape velocity. It's an idea whose time has come. It spreads like wildfire. And the thing about inevitable brands is that they seem obvious in retrospect. Zumba, fitness that doesn't have to be painful. Pretty obvious in retrospect. Apple, technology that doesn't have to be frustrating. Pretty obvious in retrospect. Bitcoin, a monetary system that is decentralized and cannot be controlled by central governments and banks. Pretty obvious in retrospect. Whether you're building a small consumer brand or a massive consumer brand or a personal brand, this quest will help you build a brand that becomes inevitable. See, the thing about inevitable brands is that they're obvious in retrospect, but very hard to see in the beginning. And let me tell you where the concept of the inevitable brand comes from. I was sitting in my office. It was 2012. I'm at Zumba. I get a phone call and it's Ali, the head of PR. And she tells me that we're going to be Inc. Magazine's Company of the Year. And I was in shock. Just a few years ago, we were the five guys in a warehouse. We were the joke of the fitness industry. And now we're the largest branded fitness program in the world. We are Inc. Magazine's Company of the Year. So a few months later, I'm being interviewed by the editor of Inc. Magazine. And she asks me if I knew that Zumba would become what it is. And before I could filter my thoughts, something came out of me and said, yes, it was inevitable. And that was my truth. You know, I wanted to say, no, it was luck or something like that. But this energy just came out and said, yes, it was inevitable. Zumba was inevitable. It almost felt like it was going to happen whether we were there or not. And now it wasn't always like that. When we were the five guys in the warehouse, hunched over our computers, we were trying to create Zumba. You know, we were thinking very hard about it. But at some point, Zumba caught a life of its own. And at that point is when, to us, it truly became inevitable. So just like great art, great brands come alive and tell the artist how to parent them, how to bring them into existence. Michelangelo saw David in that 5-meter piece of marble. He didn't create David. He set him free. David was already there. Stephen King says it's like an archaeologist that sees the tip of a bone, the tip of a fossil. And the archaeologist's job is to uncover the fossil, to take out the fossil with as little damage as possible. In this quest, we will uncover the beginning of your fossil. And our job is going to be to dust it off, to pick up the pieces ever so gently, one by one, until the entire fossil is out of the ground. A great brand, an inevitable brand, is discovered. It is revealed. It is not created. To me, it's a lot like what I think great parenting is. Our parents, our great-grandparents, the old model of parenting was about controlling your child. You're going to become a doctor. You're going to become a lawyer. I find that my role as a parent is not to impose on my child, but it is to reveal my children and help them become the best expression of themselves. So let's see where you are on the brand development journey. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you finding decisions difficult to make? Do you take votes with your team? In other words, do you make decision by committee? Do you have analysis paralysis? Is it hard to make decisions? Is the path forward not that clear, not that obvious? Are you asking your customers who you should be? Well, Let me tell you, that's as ridiculous as you going around asking people who you should be. Brand doesn't come from there. And you know where else it doesn't come from? From an agency. Going to an agency and asking them who you should be is like going to a therapist and asking them to present you 3 different versions of who you could be. Your truth, your essence doesn't come from there. It comes from inside. Inside, you will find the bone, and that bone will become a fossil. And if you're able to excavate that fossil, that's your brand. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about how to discover your brand. But for now, you have 2 action steps for this lesson. So first, take the brand inevitability test to see where you are right now. And second, share your results and compare notes with the tribe. Get these 2 action steps done. And I'll see you in the next lesson.